Hey everyone, I'm going to tell you a little bit about doing fertility treatment in Germany. If that is something that you're considering, I hope this is a helpful video because when we were considering it, there really wasn't much information out there. So, this is the stuff I wish I had known when we started. I'm going to give you just a general timeline first and then give you a few more details on the paperwork and admin side. Very helpful, a little bit boring. First of all, we moved to Dresden back in September 2019. And it took us a little while to settle in. We also traveled. So we didn't really start looking into fertility treatments until the following September 2020. Having said that, we knew we were going to look into it eventually. So when we were signing up for our health insurance, because the workplace, my husband's workplace, offers different health insurance companies to choose from, we specifically looked for one that would cover some elements of the fertility treatment. So that's something to keep in mind when you move to Germany. If your workplace offers you insurance, look through the details because not all of them cover fertility treatment. So we did that first, and then in September 2020, we found the university clinic here has a fertility center. And that was really good news for us because we actually chose this location for our apartment because we wanted to be near the university clinic. It was for a different reason, but it worked out in our favor for other reasons. And the only downside was they didn't have any appointments available until April 2021. We did look into other clinics that were in Berlin because we wanted a bilingual clinic. However, that didn't work out at all. And I'm not gonna go into the details of it, but COVID-19 sort of messed up our plans for that. We couldn't travel to another state for several months. So that just totally off the list. And it's fine. It's worked out better this way. So time passed quickly. We kept ourselves busy during lockdown, and we got notified we had our appointment on April 19th. So we went, had our first consultation, and I just have to say the doctors there are great. They are so kind and understanding, really good at listening and sympathetic, but they don't pity you. They kind of think, okay, well, what's our next step? What can we do for you? And they still emphasize, to do things as naturally as possible. All the doctors speak some English. Nurses don't always speak English, but they generally understand what you need. And yeah, I haven't had any big issues with it. So I would recommend the fertility clinic at the university clinic. We had our first consultation in April. Then once a week for the next month, I had to go in to have a blood test and an ultrasound to check each stage of the cycle because they wanted to first find out if something was going on, if there was a reason we haven't been able to have children. By the end of the month, nothing really came up as unusual. They wanted to do one more test, which was a little scary to me at first because it's an operation. They wanted just to make sure that there was nothing else going on, so they had to take a deeper look. But they left the decision up to me. They didn't pressure me either way. I decided to do it because after all this time, I just really wanted to know what was going on. And I'd done other tests and didn't really help at all. So this time, they wanted to do an operation where they actually completed 2 procedures at once. One was a laparoscopy, and the other is a, I can never pronounce this right, hysteroscopy? Yeah. So I will go into further details of that operation in a separate video. But just for now, the operation was on June 30th. And then I stayed a night in hospital, had a post-op checkup, and got the results that day. Turns out I had endometriosis on the sort of tubes leading to my kidney, and they successfully removed that. I had a further checkup appointment after a week. And everything was fine. And at that point, they talked to us about what we wanted to do next. And they gave us all the information about different fertility treatments. But they did recommend in our situation, because we were pretty healthy and nothing else came up during the operation. They didn't find anything else. And we've been trying to have children for so long. They recommended IVF because it has the highest success rate. It's still a 30% success rate, but it's higher than the other treatments. So we went home and talked about it, went back a couple weeks later and decided to go for it. So we started filling out the paperwork. So I had my operation end of June and then just started the IVF process this month. So from start to finish, April to September, having all the tests done and an operation and deciding on our course of treatment and starting the treatment, I don't think it's been that long. The longest part was waiting for the initial appointment. And I think they just have a lot of people who need their help. So what can you do? But if you're thinking about it, maybe get on the list as soon as possible. You can always change your mind later, but just get yourself on the list. It might save you some time. Paperwork, paperwork, paperwork. Before you go to the fertility clinic, you have to go to your regular GP. And the GP will give you a referral form to take with you to the clinic. It just says, he understands the situation and you qualify to have this specialist appointment. And then your health insurance will cover it. That referral has to be renewed, like they said every term. I think it's about every few months. We realized when we had to go and renew it that actually we could call our GP and they could just fill out the form and we could pick it up later. So really helpful to know. Okay, after that, once you decide to do IVF, that's when all the other paperwork starts. So you don't have too much in between the first appointment and the point where you make that decision, but it's when you make the decision, here are some things that you need to do. You have to apply to your health insurance company. This is so that they will give you some financial aid towards IVF. So the doctors at the clinic will sign this form. You will sign the form and fill out what you're doing specifically for the treatment. And then you send it to the insurance company. They will approve it, and they should send back the original document. If they don't send back the original document, you need to contact them and have them send you the original document, because the clinic only accepts the original. Don't worry, the application for IVF, the doctors at the clinic, they will walk you through it. They will tell you what it all says because it's in German. So they will explain everything and then let you decide what you want to do and fill out, basically sign the forms and fill out the forms. And we needed a little extra time to discuss the specifics, so we had another appointment, a couple weeks later, and had filled out all the paperwork by then. And then they are approving financial aid. In the meantime, you need to go to your regular gynecologist and ask them to fill out a form. Also, she or he will take a swab of your uterus just to check for things like cancer or other just another final check. After you hear back from the health insurance company and they okay your treatment plan, then you can apply to your local state. So we live in Saxony, and Saxony is willing to give a significant amount of financial aid towards those doing fertility treatment. I think because there's a very low birth rate in our state compared to other states. So just to put it in perspective, our health insurance company is willing to cover half the cost of the treatment. And then our state, Saxony, is willing to cover half of the remaining half, which is really helpful for us. So we're thankful. We're so thankful for that. In comparison, if we had done the treatment in Berlin, we wouldn't have received as much financial aid because it's a different state. Once you have a date set to start IVF, you need to make sure that the fertility clinic has photocopies of your passports, and they'll do it there for you. You just take your passports in, as well as the document from the health insurance company, and from the state as well, if I think that's right. That is the general timeline and admin of IVF here in Germany. I hope that has helped. It's a bit of a whirlwind. I'll put some bullet points up somewhere so it's a little easier to have a list in front of you. But yeah, I will definitely post some more videos related to this journey we've had. It's not just something that started when we moved here to Germany. It's many years, and yeah, we understand it's not the easiest thing. So hopefully these videos can be some help and encouragement to you. Good luck on your own journeys, and see you later.